Hello there, my name is Valerie White Williams and I'm a voice teacher and a vocal coach for Vocal Splendor Studios. Today I'm doing another reaction video and this time I'm really excited to do a new Jackson 5 back in the day recording, Never Can Say Goodbye, live on The Tonight Show. And this gem has been found by my patron, Jordan. Thank you so much, Jordan. I can't wait to listen to this. So let's have a listen. Oh, but before we go, make sure you subscribe and click on the bell so you get notified of all of my reactions. So let's go and have a listen.
I never can say goodbye. No, 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 no. I never, 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 never can say goodbye. Even though the pain and heartaches seem to follow me wherever I go, though I try and try to hide my feelings, they always seem to show. And you try to steal it in me, and I always have to say no. Tell me why. Tell me why. Is it so? No, no.
Oh my goodness. I love this. This is exactly what I've been looking for. Thank you so much, Jordan. Love the orange. I had to put orange myself on, but this is a full band because this is Johnny Carson, 1974. Yeah, I don't know. Michael looks like he was kind of 14, 15 perhaps, and hearing those trumpets and the horns. And what reminds me of MJ is Angelina, because he also could command the audience, such mature phrasing and just really understanding how to have that stage presence. Let's keep going.
I never, 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 never gonna say goodbye. I never can say goodbye. Every time I think of it, either started and
Woo, yeah.
there's a piercing me right through the core. This time I do, though you, I love her more and more. Tell me why. It is so.
Oh my goodness. I'm stopping just a minute. I mean, here he is, this dancing, the spinning. I know he was really inspired by, the people that came before him, but I'm also really impressed with the rest of the Jackson 5. I mean, those harmonies are really spot on. It reminds me of Soul Sonic. Yes, that's right. Is that the name? Yes. Yes, because Silk Sonic, because they're definitely inspired by this era. And this is kind of, he's not a little kid, he's a teenager, but so skilled, so polished, and the whole band sounds amazing.
Come on, I can say goodbye. Ooh, yeah. I can say goodbye. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. I got yeah. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. I got
All right. That was amazing. And unfortunately, it was too short, but I'll take it. Yeah, that was a small performance, but I loved seeing all the elements live because I know I've found some other recordings, but they were kind of lip syncing, because that's what happens sometimes, especially some of those shows like American Bandstand. And that happened in the British TV shows too. They just kind of would lip sync, but it wasn't really live. And what I loved about this one is Johnny Carson. Johnny Carson was a drummer. He loved live music. I think everything on his show was live. That was back in the day. And it was really fun to see the Jackson 5 and all their vocals. And Michael was pretty stunning. He always was stunning, even when he was a younger kid. But it looked like he was like 14, 15, I'm guessing. And his presence just reminded me of Angelina Jordan, is that she's totally comfortable on the stage. She knows exactly what she wants. Same with Michael. It's so interesting because I call AJ and MJ, these young people, but had total clarity about who they were and what they were about. Now, again, Michael was inspired by I Feel Good, all those earlier Motown artists that span around and danced. And so he studied those guys. He worked with them. That was something I know his dad was a huge taskmaster. They probably studied those artists that went before. Because that's the thing about artists. People think, oh, they're so original, but every artist gets inspiration by other artists. They don't come up in a cave. They're always inspired by the people they listen to, or the people their parents listen to, or the people their grandparents listen to. And so that comes in. And so that's where you get all these influences. It's almost like cooking and food. Music travels the world, and people are inspired by the music they love. They can't help not be. And Michael, those are the era, that huge rose going down, 1974 for sure. And that went on for a while. But I was really impressed by the brothers because they were singing all these harmonies. They were really pretty spot on. And you could just tell that they were so proud of Michael. They were so happy, but Michael was the jewel in the crown. The other guys did some solos too. They all had good voices, but Michael just had that magic touch that just in the moment he could sing, and he had those moves, those spins, and just really was the leader. I remember because that was my era, when the Jackson 5 came out, and I was like, the young guy is like the lead singer. Yeah, he is, and he was. Because he just had that magic charisma. And when you say charisma, that's kind of a weird word, Charisma comes in different, it's not like you're always extroverted, but you just attract. Charisma brings this attraction and focus. And Michael always had that focus, and that also that quality of perfection. I know that's kind of weird, because perfection, you're never perfect. No performance is perfect. Just saying. But you want to bring a craft, the craftsmanship, because the craft. Now, a lot of people don't realize that artists practice a lot. People think, oh, they're talented. Well, yeah, there is talent, but talent plus practicing. Now, people think, oh, they don't need to practice. Well, all world-class artists practice. You're always practicing. You're either practicing to keep up what you have, or you're practicing to build new skills. And most artists are not just going to sit on their laurels. They're going to practice and learn new things and keep growing and growing, because that's what creativity does. You need to create. And those outfits too, I just love them. The orange with the plaid and all the black stuff on it. That was a really fun era. It was very out there fashion-wise. And, kind of miss it, although I don't know if it would look good on me. But anyway, yeah, Michael and his brothers, and then they had some other musicians playing behind them, the drummers. I couldn't hear the horns, but there were definitely horns on the stage, and it was a really great performance. It just was too short. I wanted to hear more. In fact, I'd love to hear a second song, but hopefully we can dig out some of these live performances, because what a gifted band and what an influence. The thing about music is that music has a huge influence in culture and in people's identity of the music they like and the songs they like. That's why I feel like music should be taught in schools, not just music, but the history of music and the artists. Because here's the deal. This music that came from jazz, it came from the slaves that turned it into, the gospel and the music, and then the jazz, and the jazz came out of that, and then the rock came out of that, and so we don't teach this in our schools. We don't. It makes me want to pull my hair out, because the American music has spread all over the globe. I mean, the American music, the jazz music, the rock music that was, came from Africans coming to this country without, they didn't volunteer for that. And so, but the music that came from it has inspired the world, but we don't teach it in schools. I know, I'm kind of ranting about it. I feel very passionate that this should be taught in the schools. And it doesn't even taught in college. It's an elective. History of rock, history of jazz. It's an elective. Everybody should know this. Everyone should know it. And the Jackson 5 were iconic, and they were in that movement. And now that music has spread all over the world. But do we talk about it? The people that are the pioneers of it? No. We need to change that. I actually did a lecture on that from my professional group. But we need to make that change, because we need to have pride in our artists. They're not just entertainers. It's putting culture out there. Anyway, thanks for the rant. Letting me rant today. Michael Jackson is amazing. Jackson 5, I love them. And I hope to find some more awesome archives to hear them perform again. All right, take care. And if you love Michael Jackson, make sure you subscribe and click the bell and the Jackson 5. Yeah, I got on a rant. But anyway, and then just know that I have my 2 groups, YouTube Success Strategies, Creative Soul Alignment, and I'd love to see you there. All right, take care. Bye.